From Gloucester County College, it's a championship of the James G. Atkinson Memorial Classic. And boys basketball tonight, it's the Minutemen of Washington Township against the Paulsboro Red Raiders. Hello everybody, I'm Mark Narducci along with Sean Leary. This should be an outstanding final between teams with kind of contrasting styles. We'll get into the matchups right now, but first let's go to Fred Schwartz, the PA announcer, for the starting lineups.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Gloucester County College. Tonight, the championship game of the James G. Atkinson Memorial Holiday Classic. The Minutemen of Washington Township and the Red Raiders of Paulsboro High School. And now let's meet the starting lineups for tonight's visiting team, the Minutemen of Washington Township. At guard, a 5'10" senior, number 5, Joe Favatella. At guard, a 6'1" senior, number 10, Mike Bradley. At guard, a 6'3" senior, number 21, Brian Terry. At forward, a 6'4" senior, number 23, Alonzo Galliard. And at forward, a 6'3" senior, number 30, Craig Prince. And now let's meet the coaching staff for the Minutemen, led by head coach Bob Byatt, assisted by Charlie Blank, Andy Holmes, Matt Kaiser, and Stacy Paquette. The Minutemen of Washington Township. And now let's meet the starting lineups for tonight's home team, the Red Raiders of Paulsboro High School. At guard, a 6' sophomore, number 11, John Gardner. At guard, a 6'2" senior, number 12, Sean McGaw. At guard, a 5'10" senior, number 14, James Vaughn. At forward, a 6'3" senior, number 13, Rashad Harris. And at forward, a 6'2" senior, number 23, Stefan Tucker. And now let's meet the coaching staff for the Red Raiders. Head coach Byron Dixon, assisted by Joe Dreger and Gerald Hodges Sr. The Red Raiders of Paulsboro High School.
So those are your starting lineups for Washington Township. It's Fatella, Bradley, Terry, Galliard, and Prince. For Paulsboro, Gardner, McGar, Harris, Vaughn, and Stefan Tucker. And Sean Leary, this should be quite a game today. Paulsboro would like to keep the pace going up. I think Washington Township would like to play more of a half-court style, but the Minutemen are capable of running.
Well, if anybody knows college basketball, this is like Loyola Marymount back in the 90s against Princeton. I mean, Washington, this is two completely different styles of basketball. Bob Byatt, who's the guy who likes to hold, create, penetrate, everything methodical, slow it down. Paulsboro, nothing but run and gun. I mean, this is such a contrast of styles. But, I mean, you look at Bob Byatt and the success that he's had. Remember, he was a guy who was at West Deptford, who knows this Paulsboro system, knows the way they like to run. It's just a matter of can he relate it to his players and them understand, listen, we got to make sure we're patient. Stay patient in the offense. They did have a game earlier against Willingboro. They lost by a dozen. Yeah, that's a team that likes to move it up and down the court, so hopefully they learn from that game.
The officials, Tom DiTolio, Jack Rowland, and Jimmy Carter, a very experienced trio that we have. Paulsboro, off the dribble, James Vaughn hits the first basket of the game for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, this isn't a bunch of household names for Paulsboro, but people are going to get to know them tonight. These guys can light it up. They've played extremely well with a 3-0 record to start off.
And Washington Township with Bradley answers back to tie it up at 2-2. Washington Township beat Williamstown in last night's semifinal 49-36. Paulsboro with a convincing 70-42 victory over the Dragons of Kingsway. Paulsboro very quick. There's McGar with the jumper. He's short, and rebound pulled down by Brian Terry, the 6'3" senior for the Township. Joe Favitella, number 5, will run this offense along with Bradley. Two very heady players. Backdoor that time. Turnover, Washington Township.
Well, you look at this matchup coming in, Mark, and you're right. Just an interesting matchup with the way these two teams like to play and who's really going to set the tempo early on. I think that's going to be key. Paulsboro is going to want to push it. Washington Township, you got to make sure that they don't frustrate you if you're the Red Raiders.
Township, very, very methodical on defense, does a lot of switching. Paulsboro calling an early timeout, Sean. I think Coach Byron Dixon not liking the way his team's kind of attacking that Washington Township defense.
Well, there's too many passes. Yeah, the team likes to run and move it up in court, pressure the basketball. Yeah, they're the ones like Township, setting up the offense, trying to pass and control and find the open shot. He did not like what he saw from the offense and the way they were probably not moving correctly without the ball.
Paulsboro with its 3 wins over Bridgeton, Gateway, and Kingsway. Washington Township beat Penns Grove, Cherry Hill East, and Williamstown. Sean, you mentioned the Willingboro loss, also lost by 20 to arguably the top team in South Jersey, the Shawnee Renegades.
Yeah, that's a tough team there. And, you know, they come back with, I think, a pretty good win against Williamstown in the opening round of this tournament. One, I thought the score might have been a little bit closer than what it was. But Washington Township, the one way you can attack Paulsboro is on the inside. They have Prince and Galliardo comes back from last year, and they've been two guys that have certainly been a presence against the teams that they faced already this season.
Again, Paulsboro trying to get ball movement. 3-pointer from the corner that time is by Rashad Harris, a 6'2" senior, and the Red Raiders up 5-2.
Well, whatever Byron Dixon drew up, they must have did a nice job. It got him to sit down, calm down a little bit, at least for one possession.
Again, Township loves the back door. Jump shot from the corner is smooth with Drake Prince. Prince had 12 in last night's victory. Again, Township on the rebound that time as McGar missed the drive.
See, Paulsboro just doesn't have the wide body to guard underneath, but they have the athleticism like you see there to be able to deny, block some shots.
Great block by Harris that time, but Favitella gets the rebound and the basket, and the Township now up 6-5.
Favitella, the 5'10" senior, going to pick it up, be able to get an easy bucket.
Gardner missed a 3 that time. And again, the miss by Vaughn, and there's Prince on the board.
And that was a hustle play. I was talking about the Favitella. That was a hustle play. That's what Byron Dixon said that his team's going to need to be able to do. Get all the hustle, all the loose balls on the floor, play hard with a lot of intensity.
Bradley, a lot of movement, as you mentioned, Sean, with this Washington Township team. Prince thought about a 3, goes into 2. He's short on that. Tipped out by Favitella, and Township retains possession. Brian Terry with the ball. I'll tell you, you wonder if Township can keep up this pace the way these players are running in the half court, getting open, off screens. A lot of movement in Bob Byatt's offense.
Well, Paulsboro will stick to what it does, and that's playing man, trying to force turnovers, getting to the passing lane, making sure that they can get a couple of tips that'll get the offense going the other way. Transition is the way Paulsboro plays, but they'll get lulled to sleep here if Washington Township retains possession for too long.
Galliard had missed on 2, but Township retained possession. Prince with Harris on him. That's a nice matchup, a very interesting matchup. Terry inside the Favitella. He gets his 4th point of the evening.
Favitella coming off a high screen is able to get an easy bucket. He's got to please Coach Bob Byatt in the corner, especially those high screens. Be able to get the easy baskets. Favitella with 2 quick layups. Give his team an 8-5 lead.
Harris, who had made another three, missed that time, and Township back in business, up 8-5. Galliard, who's averaging 16 a game, very dangerous scorer for this Township team. They are trying to backdoor Paulsboro to death here. Paulsboro not biting. Galliard goes in, throws the foul in, and one. Alonzo Galliard with his first basket of the game, and the Minutemen up 10-5.
Yeah, he's 6'4". One of the things that Galliard has is that wide body. You can see him here, he's thick, he's put on a little weight, got a little muscle behind him. He's able to drive, uses his body effectively, and get the ball to go up and down. But that's one of the things Paulsboro doesn't match up well. Although they may have the athleticism, they don't have the wide bodies that they've had in the past. Now they'll run up and down the court, but they don't have a guy who's going to man up defensively against some bigger, taller centers.
By the way, Sean, Paulsboro not a team with a lot of hype, but brings them in the game now. And the freshman, Darius Quarles, is 6'4", wearing number 21 for the Red Raiders. Turnover, Paulsboro, Favatella on the steal. Favatella with Gardner on him. Again, Paulsboro a little overplaying, could be susceptible to the back door. Galliard again inside. Galliard with his fourth point. And the Minutemen are up 12-5. 2:43 left here in the first quarter of the championship of the James Atkinson Memorial Tournament. Three-pointer off the dribble by Vaughn, and a nice job by Quarles to tip the ball, but now they're saying Township possession.
Yeah, Quarles at 6'4". He's one of the new and exciting freshmen to come into the conference. And in Gloucester County, you can see him there at number 21. We talked about him on our new basketball show, and he's one of the exciting young players, but he's still got to grow into his body yet. He's going to be an athletic guy who can start, move, get some points for you, but not going to be a big-time difference maker until he kind of matures into his own body.
Rick Hudson, number 12, a 6-foot sophomore, into the game. There's Galliard going. Galliard's right-handed, but he loves to go to his left, and he keeps the ball alive. Bradley with the miss, rebounded by Paulsboro's Stephon Tucker, the 6'2" senior.
Yeah, he's going to have to do a job underneath.
Red Raiders with Gardner, he misses, and Paulsboro can't buy a bucket right now. Township throws it out, so it'll be Paulsboro's ball. Second turnover for Washington Township.
And that's what I'm talking about right there with Quarles. I mean, he's going to be an outstanding player as he matures, gets a little bit stronger, because underneath that's a spot where he can rip down that rebound and put it back up for two. He put his body in terrific position, and that's the thing you want to do is learn. Make sure you put yourself in good position. That will come in time as he lifts weights and gets a little bit stronger.
Amir Love, number 1, and in for Paulsboro. Three-pointer that time by Darius Quarles, the freshman.
Showing he could go inside and out. Pretty excited in Red Raider country with this young number 21.
Don't be misled that he didn't start the game. Quarles will see quite a few minutes, and that ball's passed for another turnover, third by the Minutemen. Also into the game for Washington Township, number 32, Shane Irvin, and number 20, Rob Wood. So Coach Bob Byatt's already gone 8 deep. Up the middle, offensive foul that time by Stephon Tucker.
Good decision by Tucker, just not a good result. I mean, he's trying to push the basketball, not settling for the outside jumper.
I'll tell you what, Shane Irwin, number 32, did a nice job taking that charge, and now pressure, full court pressure by the Red Raiders. Hudson, who has Amir Love on him. They're two pretty quick guards right there. Into Brian Terry. Wood, again inside, makes the bad pass that time, and fourth turnover for the Minutemen. There's Jack Rowland, one of the premier officials in South Jersey. So you have Amir Love and James Vaughn. Vaughn, who had 16 last night, has just 2 so far. Quarles with the pump fake from 15, it's short, and he follows his own miss.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about right there. I mean, he can sky and elevate. That time he pulls down the rebound. Nice job by the freshman to get in there and follow his shot. And that's something you don't see from a freshman typically, Mark, is a guy who's going to follow his shot.
Foul on Rick Hudson, that's his first for Township. Love will now run the offense. He's looking for Vaughn. Now Vaughn has it with Wood on him. Vaughn looking to take him off the dribble. We saw that three-point shot by Harris. He misses. Terry on the rebound. So Harris has made 1 3, missed 2. Shows great range for the Red Raiders, and Harris has a foul that he'd like to have back, far away from the basket.
That's frustration. You miss the 3 at one end, you come back down, you're kind of mad at yourself a little bit. Kind of hack away.
11.7 seconds left as Greg Prince takes the ball in for Washington Township. Hudson with Love. Hudson going to the basket. Nice pass inside. Blocked that time by Quarles. Outstanding block by Darius Quarles, and time will run out. Well, Paulsboro got the pace it wanted, but Washington Township's ahead on the scoreboard. After 1, it's the Minutemen 12 and Paulsboro 8. Start of the second quarter, as you see the score, Township up 12-8. Paulsboro 3 for 11 from the field in the first quarter, 2 for 7 from three-point range. Washington Township 6 for 12. Courtesy of our statistician tonight, Rob Riles. Township really moving well offensively there. Bradley back in the game. Prince, Hudson, who came off the bench and has given great minutes. Galliard again goes with the left hand. Galliard looks ambidextrous down there.
Well, they're just, like you said, backdooring him to death right now with the backdoor screen, cutting over and making easy buckets. Paulsboro's going to have to deny.
And that was Sean McGarr that time on an outstanding drive, getting his first 2 of the night. Township up 14-10 here in the second quarter. Again, going down, Bradley rejected that time by Quarles. Paulsboro ball, and the freshman Darius Quarles has really made his presence felt.
Well, defensively, that's what you expect to see, a guy with long arms who can get in there, good reach. He's going to be able to block some shots, and they really like this guy. I mean, you can see why they like him so much. I mean, he can jump, and one thing he's going to do is just steadily improve.
Oh, McGarr that time lost control of the ball, so it'll be Washington Township inbounding. 6:54 left in the second quarter. Minutemen up by 4, 14-10. Favitella, who's running this offense, has Harris on him. That's a tough matchup. Galliard with McGarr. Prince. Now into the game for Township. Skylar Robinson, a sophomore, and rejected again by Quarles.
If Favitella had the open look, now that's where you have Favitella come from behind. He's wide open, but Quarles is going to erase that shot by Favitella.
Yeah, we have a 5-second violation by Washington Township. Minutemen 5th turnover. And I'll tell you the other thing, Sean, what Quarles is going to do is make Washington Township shoot a little earlier than it had planned.
He brings a lot defensively to this team.
Quarles for 3 from way downtown. And
Big fella showing range.
Darius Quarles, you heard the net on that one, has 6 points on 2 3-pointers. 14-13 Township. Oh, that time Bradley couldn't handle the pass. Robinson moves in, but jump ball, and it'll be the Red Raiders.
And you're right, Mark. When you have a shot blocker, you feel like you have to get that shot off a little quicker. So everything, the passes might be a little bit more hot coming in. You feel like you need to hurry up and rush the layup because you feel number 21 is going to come and give you a block. I mean, there's so many things that a shot blocker does to an offense that really hurts Bob Byatt's team, and this is what Quarles has done early on.
That was McGar with a long, forced three-pointer off the dribble, and here comes Favatella.
Ball.
Nobody, as you mentioned, Sean, picked it up. Favatella now has 6 points, and the Minutemen up by 3. Amir Love, who has come off the bench and really helped run this offense. McGar off the dribble that time, the blocking foul on Favatella. That'll be his first.
See, just a simple drive here and the kick, and that's what you want to do if you're McGar, is try to get into the lane, get it to the wings, and have them come up. And that's, I mean, having Quarles in there and giving you a little bit of height, you can do that. Now, Prince and Galliard, with Quarles hitting those couple of three-pointers, Mark, what also that does is that also pulls Galliard out. So you have the shot blocker for Washington Township playing outside beyond the arc when Quarles is able to step out there.
And how about Quarles guarding the inbound pass? It's not easy to throw it over him. 3 blocks already for the freshman Quarles. Prince strong right over Quarles that time. Galliard with the rebound. Short jumper blocked again by Quarles.
So you can see there you go. It's the 4th block now. And what that did to Galliard, instead of where he's comfortable going in hard, he goes for the short jumper. And that's kind of a fadeaway where Quarles is able to get up and block the shot.
That again was a long three-pointer by Rashad Harris, who hit his first, but he's had a tough time since. Prince, turnaround jumper, rebound, Quarles. Quarles is everywhere right now. Byron Dixon giving his players a little bit of a break with a 20 with this pace.
You know, we don't want to pump this freshman's head up too much, but you know, he's come in and made a difference, both defensively with the 4 blocks, hitting a couple of long-range threes to get his team back into it. Now what you do is you build off of that, Mark, and you know, when you have him pulling out Galliard, McGar coming in, penetrating the lane, kick it to the wing. You got Galliard out defending Quarles. That's going to open the middle up for Washington, or for Paulsboro.
Hey, by the way, while we have some time here, Paulsboro graduate Russell Carter, the former South Jersey Player of the Year, having an outstanding season at Notre Dame. And Sean, he's a guy that didn't play a whole lot early in his career, patiently waited his turn, and now is doing a great job for Coach Mike Bray.
Well, he's really matured, and you know, we talked about this at the paper. I mean, he might be playing himself possibly into a second-round pick, maybe in the NBA draft, the way he's playing at this point.
But either way, there should be a place for him somewhere. As a nice turnaround jump hook by Harris, but he can't hit it. Favatella, who's been so steady running this Washington Township offense. Prince with the turnaround. Again, he had that shot altered that time by Quarles. Great hustle that time by Bradley as he ties up the ball. Tremendous hustle.
Not to go back too much into the Carter thing, but even for young player, he came in as a freshman. He was a big-time star here, and what he did defensively for Notre Dame has come and played his heart out defensively. He's really got his offensive game now in as a 6'6" jump shooter who can go in and out. I mean, he really brings a lot to that team.
Terry missed the 3. Oh, tough pass by Quarles as he passed it right underneath the basket. Bradley got it, and he's hacked. That foul was on number 14, James Vaughn, his first. 4th for the Red Raiders. Oh, that'll bring Mike Bradley to the line.
You see Bob Byatt, former coach from West Deptford. Now is
I think one of the better tacticians in South Jersey, one of the better coaches in South Jersey. He was at West Deptford for 12 years now, Washington Township for 4.
And easily one of the nicest guys around. I don't think you get any debate that Bob Byatt is just a terrific.
No question,
terrific
and he can just flat out coach. Bradley, who had 2 points in last night's win over Williamstown, now has 3 tonight.
Yeah, I mentioned he knows this Paulsboro team, or this, not this specific Paulsboro team, but he knows Paulsboro, the type of athletes, how you're supposed to play him. You know, he's had tremendous success against Paulsboro. Even against that year that Paulsboro went to the tournament champions final under Kevin Harvey. That team had only 3 losses. 2 of them were to West Deptford.
Wow, tough shot that time by Harris. Paulsboro retains possession into the game. Quaheen Carlson, the junior forward for the Red Raiders, wearing number 22. There's Amir Love. McGar, he's pushed. That time, fouled by Brian Terry.
In fact, those 2 losses, Kevin Harvey actually came off the court and said, Coach Byatt, he said, Coach, you know, that's the hardest I've been hit, including football.
That's saying something. Although not many people got to hit Kevin Harvey in football because they couldn't catch him. Love for 3. Air ball. Rebound that time by Galliard. But Galliard just plays within himself, doesn't try to do too much out of his level. Boy, and Love is putting on some serious pressure on Rick Hudson. Terry can make that shot. Tried to go inside, but it was hit away by McGar, stolen by Love. Love looking that time for Quarles, passed a little bit too far. 5th turnover for the Red Raiders.
But that's their type of game. They're going to have a lot of turnovers, but they're also going to create a lot of turnovers. On one end, they like to just move it up, get that pace going. There you see Byron Dixon, who helps out with the football team, parlays that with the basketball program as the head coach here. Probably learns a little bit from Glenn Howard under the football program.
Yeah, you could learn a little bit about winning from Glenn Howard, couldn't you? Oh, backdoor that time. Outstanding play by Irwin on the pass from Galliard. So Shane hits the scorebook with his first 2, and the Minutemen up by 7, 20-13, 2:28 left here in the first half. It's been a good one. McGar for 3 off the dribble. Out. Quarles tips it, but Terry on the rebound. And
Terry looked up.
Loses it.
Yeah, Terry looked up and he saw Irwin streaking down the left side, and he kind of lost his concentration.
7 turnovers for Township. Now in for Paulsboro, Kevin Johnson, just a freshman, number 2, in the backcourt for the Red Raiders. There's Quarles, another freshman, pull-up jumper from 17, air ball. Terry with it for Township.
Kevin
Hudson.
Johnson, yeah, remember the name. This is a good athlete. You're going to hear about him probably in football.
How would you like to be Byron Dixon and you have Kevin Johnson and Quarles as freshmen to build around for a number of years?
Yeah, you're right, Mark. I mean, these are 2 names that you're going to hear a lot about.
Galliard is called for the walk. It's interesting, Galliard's right-handed, but he loves to go to his left just about every time. I think Paulsboro realizing that, playing him that way. There's Rashad Harris. Johnson with Hudson on him. Harris, he has deep range. Quarles, back to Harris. Harris for 3. Hits it. His second 3 of the game, and the Red Raiders within 4.
Yeah, this is the way they play. I mean, Paulsboro's going to push it, try to look for that open 3-point shot, and create turnovers. It's kind of been a stalemate. I mean, Washington Township's been able to get into their set. Paulsboro's been able to get out and run a little bit. Really, neither team really setting the tempo. Both teams kind of playing at their style.
They had Galliard down low. Now turnaround jumper. Galliard in and out. Quarles rebound. Boy, Quarles is just cleaning the glass right now. Kevin Johnson going down the lane. Oh, what a drive by Johnson.
The freshman going coast to coast, using his body, getting through, finding a little crease, and getting it to go up and then back down. Nice job by the freshman.
Township, which was getting that back door early. Paulsboro's done a nice job with defending that lately. Driving layup that time by Wood is short, or make that Irwin short. Bradley dishes off. Irwin for 2 that time. Terry on the rebound. And Harris short on the 3, but what a first half here in the championship game of the James Atkinson Memorial Tournament. Washington Township holds a 22-18 lead. We'll be back for more right after this timeout. And welcome back. Mark Narducci along with Sean Leary as we get the beginning of the third quarter as Washington Township holds a 22-18 lead over Paulsboro. In the first half, Paulsboro shot 7 for 22 from the field, 4 for 14 from beyond the arc. Township 10 for 25, just 0 for 1 from three-point range. And Sean, we noticed that the freshman Darius Quarles, who did not start the game, is on the floor at the beginning of the second half.
Well, like you said, he had significant minutes in that first half, although he may not start. He's going to come in and get a lot of playing time.
Sean McGar hits for 2, and now the Red Raiders within 2. Paulsboro with a different high score each game. Last game it was Vaughn with 16 in the win, the semifinal win over Kingsway. Galliard with the spin move again. Paulsboro thought he walked that time.
Yeah.
Instead, he drew the foul on Quarles. That'll be Darius's first. So Alonzo Galliard, who had 6 points in the first half, goes to the line. Had a team-high 17 in last night's 49-36 win over Williamstown in the semis.
Especially after losing Dan Betteridge last year to graduation, you lose a lot from your backcourt. They need to have Alonzo Galliard be able to really pick up some of that scoring that they lost. They lost almost like 60 to 70% of the scoring.
Minimum by 4, and a great play by John Gardner, who was blocked and kept the ball, got the rebound, and got his first basket. Red Raiders within 2, 24-22. And turnover for the Minutemen. That is their 10th of the game.
You talk about depth. Paulsboro, I know the way they run, they like to use a lot of players off the bench, but you have Gardner coming in, then you had Love coming in playing that position. Johnson came in, so there's a lot of depth at that guard position, and that keeps everyone fresh.
Quarles missed that turnaround jumper. It was Bradley with the rebound. Bradley on the dish to Prince, corner jumper, short. Bradley rebound, blocked by Harris. Bradley again, he stays with it. And Mike Bradley now has 6 points. Minutemen up by 4, 6:14 left here in the third quarter.
Bradley's a tough guy. He's not afraid to go to the inside, mix it up a little bit.
McGar, short, Galliard rebound. Here comes Favitella. Favitella with 6 first half points. Prince on the baseline drive that time. Greg Prince has 4, and the Minutemen open up that lead to 6, 28-22. Harris, who hit a couple threes in the first half. Here's Quarles, the freshman, with the turnaround jumper to the left, and he draws the foul that time on Brian Terry. Terry held his ground for quite some time, but he gets his second personal foul. Quarles had just 5 points last night in that convincing win over over Kingsway, has had 6 in the first half on 2 long three-point shots.
Washington Township going with a pretty big lineup. You have Terry and also Bradley, who are guys that like to go to the inside. You combine that with Prince and Galliard, who love to be in the paint. I mean, that's a big lineup.
Quite a matchup with John Gardner, number 11, on Favatella. Galliard now has McGar on him. Paulsboro man-to-man and playing very tough defense right now. Almost stolen by Stefan Tucker, but Township. Terry inside to Prince. And Prince is fouled by Sean McGar.
Yeah, McGar had no choice that time, with Prince coming up, picking up the loose ball and driving it to the basket. You know, the spot where you don't mind the foul. He needs the foul there, otherwise it's probably a layup for Prince.
Actually, they're calling it on Tucker now, so correct that. Stefan Tucker, his third. You hear those nets with their microphone there, and you can hear the swish of that shot as Prince now has 5 points.
That's a Fred Buchter design. We got for a contest.
Interesting article by Kevin Callahan, the Courier Post, about Prince, saying how during the holidays he worked from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. at a Toys R Us in Deptford and then would go right to basketball practice. Long three-pointer that time by John Gardner. He now has 5, and the Red Raiders are within 4, 30-26. 4:41 left here in the third quarter. Quite a championship game here at Gloucester County College between Paulsboro and Washington Township in the James Atkinson Memorial Championship. Favatella that time with the left hand as he drives up the lane for his 8th point, and the Minutemen up by 6.
It's almost like Paulsboro doesn't think that he's going to keep going. I mean, Favatella's had a couple of open looks, but no one's picked him up. He's just been able to drive to the basket.
How about that hustle by McGar that time, but wasn't able to make the steal, so Favatella did a nice job getting that possession for Township, and now Prince will inbound it. Bradley, who's being hawked by James Vaughn. There's a lot of pressure by Paulsboro, but Favatella gets by it. Favatella inside to Galliard for the basket. Galliard hits double figures. He's at 10 and Minutemen up by 8. Vaughn.
Well, the three is keeping Paulsboro in the game right now. And Bob Byatt wants a timeout to talk about it because no one's picking up that outside shooter.
6 3-pointer by Paulsboro, and the Red Raiders within 5 at 34-29.
You know, one of the things, Mark, I mean, you look at this game, you wonder who's really keeping pace right now. I mean, the tempo isn't really to Paulsboro's advantage. Not really slowing down to a crawl the way Washington Township would have liked, probably. It seems like when Washington Township has the ball, they're able to work the offense a little bit. But every once in a while, Washington Township has done a good job of busting the pressure and able to get a couple of easy buckets from Favatella earlier and also Galliard in this third quarter.
You know, one of the differences in Sean, is the fact that Paulsboro has not been able to drive to the basket with much frequency. Township's done a nice job with that. Now, the Red Raiders are 6 for 16 from beyond the arc, but they have not gotten a lot of those easy layups that they like to get in the transition game.
Well, three-pointer is keeping them in the game right now, but they're going to have to find ways. And what's going to happen is now Washington Township's probably going to extend its defense. But Byatt knows that Paulsboro is hitting these threes. Let's extend the defense. Paulsboro is going to have to be able to penetrate and also pass on the inside. Try to keep calls, and even Harris. Harris is going to have to come to the inside and try to do something in the paint.
Turnover that time is Quarles. Harris for three.
Of course, if you're burying three-pointers, maybe you don't need to go inside.
11 turnovers by Township, and Harris now has 3 three-pointers, and the Red Raiders within 2 at 34-32. 3:30 left here in a very entertaining championship game. 5-second call, and Paulsboro gets it back.
Second time, Paulsboro has denied the inbound pass and had the turnover go against Washington Township. Paulsboro playing 65 miles an hour at all times.
Rick Hudson, the 6-foot sophomore who played well in the first half. And again, a three-pointer, this time by John Gardner, and the Red Raiders are up 35-34. Hudson tried to make the bounce pass, stolen away. Here comes Gardner the other way. Good defense by Favatella, making him pull up on his dribble. McGar. Vaughn. Gardner thought about it. These Paulsboro players are not bashful. Bradley trying to defend on the baseline, and he commits the foul.
Yeah, that time James Vaughn wanted Bradley one-on-one. Bradley, trying to use his feet, gain position, was called for the foul. But Bradley's a guy, Mark, I think we talked about this in the girls' game, of the volleyball players coming over. Bradley, a volleyball player for Washington Township, a very good one, I might add, who is going to go into the volleyball season as opposed to the girls just finishing theirs up. But he's a jumper. He's a guy who plays the two, but he can go on the inside because he can leap.
Foul that time by James Vaughn as he got up pretty high for that.
But Bradley showing at that two-guard spot that he is not afraid to go to the inside, ask for the contact, and move up. I mean, this is a guy who can play some different positions. Right now he's playing the 3 spot. But because he can go in, he can go out, that gives a lot of flexibility for Coach Bott.
Bradley has 6 on the night. He misses the first. He's 2 for 3 from the line. Looking to tie things up with 2:31 left in the third quarter. And he does. 35-35. Gardner, who's at the point. Vaughn, Bradley got a piece of that one. Quarles on the rebound. Quarles on the turnaround, he misses. Hit off by Vaughn, it's Washington Township ball.
Paulsboro living by the 3 right now. 24 of the 35 points have come from beyond the arc.
Hudson, who has Quarles. Quarles quick enough, obviously, to stay with those smaller guards. Township not able to backdoor the way it was early in the game. Galliard with an errant pass that time. 13th turnover for the Minutemen. And I think Bob Byatt's seen enough. He calls a timeout.
Yeah, I really think there's something to this. I know Bob Byatt has Washington Township conditioned very well, but Paulsboro is used to having this pace. And I think you had mentioned this earlier, Mark, and I think it's a good point, is even in half-court sets, if you're doing all that movement, because Paulsboro is playing in a tight man-to-man, you may tire just a little bit just because you're not used to doing it. And that's something that you have to look at Washington Township at this point to see if they can maintain the type of intensity that Paulsboro is accustomed to. Paulsboro pulls a lot of guys off the bench, especially little guys will come in. We saw Love earlier, Johnson earlier, and they can go deep.
Paulsboro, 8 3-pointers. Washington Township, 0 from beyond the arc.
A difference in the game right now, the fact that it's tied up because Washington Township has done a nice job underneath, especially early on.
Vaughn looking to drive to the basket, he misses. Rebound by Hudson. Stolen by Vaughn. Vaughn going right to the basket. He's short again. Bradley battles for the rebound. Here comes Hudson the other way for Washington Township. Wow, there is some intensity on the boards here tonight. Galliard. Again, Paulsboro denying that back door. That's a great adjustment Byron Dixon has made with this team. Again, trying to go to it. Gardner gets his hand on the ball, and Gardner's tied up that time with Hudson. Still going to be Washington Township ball on the possession as Irwin, the 6'4" junior, takes it in. Quarles was on Favatella, almost stolen by Gardner that time.
Gardner with the quick hands, trying to create an opportunity in transition for himself, but just that little disruption. Of course, it's Washington Township, who already has 2 turnovers on inbound plays, so something to watch out here. Easily inbound to Hudson.
Hudson just sliced by the defense that time, and he gets his first 2 of the night, and the Minutemen break the tie. They're up 37-35.
Looked like Paulsboro was expecting Hudson to pass, and he was able to get right into the lane.
Quarles was trying to go down low that time. 3-second call. Eighth turnover that time on 8th turnover in Paulsboro. Hudson has really given the Minutemen some solid minutes here. Off the bench, not only in the 3rd quarter, but in the first half as well. Again, tries to go back corner that time, and Harris thought he got all ball. Either way, Harris really got up that time. Sean,
Here's
let's
Harris.
look at
Watch Harris. Does he get him with the body here? Ball goes up. Yeah. I mean, he looked like he might have had the position there. That's a tough call.
Irwin still looking for his first point. Had 3 in last night's win over Williamstown. Now, make that his 3rd point of the night, Irwin. Make that his 3rd. 38-35. Those 3 points are the difference right now as Township leads with 18 seconds and counting. Irwin tries to make the steal, and it is Township's ball on the turnover. So Irwin has given the Minutemen some really good play off the bench. We're saying that about a lot of players here tonight.
Yeah. Both teams with guys coming off the bench, contributing good minutes and also good play. But this game's been played pretty well on both sides.
10 seconds to go. Hudson. Great switch that time by McGar. Hudson walked with the ball.
Yeah, get the turnover. Still 1.3 for Paulsboro. Trying inbounding desperation 3 right before the 3rd quarter ends. Nope.
Well, it should be quite a 4th quarter because the first 3 were pretty good in their own right. Washington Township 38, Paulsboro 35, back for the 4th right after this. Fourth quarter action, Mark Narducci with Sean Leary. Quarles with the turnaround jumper, good. Red Raiders within 1.
Nice little turnaround that time by Quarles. We've seen what he's been able to do from the outside that time. A nice little jumper going over top of the defense. Pulling his team within 1.
9 points for the freshman. Came off the bench, but he's played a lot of minutes here tonight. Township up 38-37. There you see number 20, Rob Wood in the game. Wood inside the Hudson.
Nice look inside by Wood. Coming off the bench, Mark, you said it. Guys contributing off the bench. A terrific pass by Wood. Wherever every point matters, every possession matters in a pretty much low-scoring game here in the fourth quarter.
How about Wood making the steal on Gardner that time? So Wood has really provided a spark here in the fourth quarter. Township up 40-37, under 7 to go here in the championship of the Atkinson tournament. Bradley.
Quarles with another block. I think that's his 5th.
Rejected by Quarles. Quarles actually thought it was off Washington Township. It'll be Hudson on the inbound. Wood had the open, and now from the baseline, Wood hits his first basket of the night, and the Minutemen up by 5.
Wood contributing on both of the last buckets. In a game where it's 42-37 and every point matters. Nice job by him coming off the bench, answered by Gardner.
Here's Gardner as he hits double figures now with 10. Township by 3, 6:27 and counting. Wood for 3, oh! 45-39, and Rob Wood, the 6-foot senior, has made his presence known, and back again is McCarr for 3. End-to-end action. So Township's 6-point lead was quickly evaporated in half on that 3-pointer.
But how about the contribution? Wood off the bench.
Wood, 5 points, 1 steal, 1 assist, just this quarter alone. That's a pretty good start considering there's 6:11 left in the fourth period.
So Wood, who's used to sitting on the pine, comes off onto the floor and really contributes for this Minutemen team. And Bob Byatt's got to be pretty happy with his bench. They've come in, and especially from that guard position. You know, Hudson's done some nice things. Wood comes off and does some good things. I mean, this is a team where they've been lacking some play from the backcourt. Has done a nice job today against a pressuring defense from Paulsboro. That was a concern for Washington Township. Would they be able to handle the pressure, turn the ball over a lot? I think they've answered that tonight.
Washington Township, that was the first 3-pointer of the game for the Minutemen. Paulsboro with 9. Now they're bringing, it's interesting here, Galliard playing a little high post here. Now Paulsboro looks like a chasing 1-2-2 defense. This is interesting now.
Very, because it's Byron Dixon, Coach Dixon said into the game he was going to go man-to-man and he wouldn't come out of it. He's made his change, he's seen something, and he comes out.
Well, I don't know if Township's going to look for a shot as long as Paulsboro stays in this zone. And there's Wood going baseline, just as I say that. 7 points all in the fourth quarter for Wood. Minutemen up by 7. The miss that time by McGar, and the rebound was by Prince, and here comes Washington Township.
Get it to the hot hand, just keep feeding him.
Oh,
when you got a hot guy, you try to get him the ball.
Prince, baseline jumper, it's good.
Good work, and the ball around by the Washington Township Minutemen, finding the open guy in Prince. Paulsboro maybe collapsed a little bit toward Woods' side, thinking he's been hurting us.
Harris for 3, Quarles on the rebound. I don't think Paulsboro's going to stay in that zone very long. Turnover. Boy, and there is Wood again. He's been the player of this fourth quarter. All 7 of his points in the fourth period, and Paulsboro does come out of the zone, Sean. It's pretty obvious that the Red Raiders had to do this. Hudson to Prince, and he's fouled by Quarles.
Here, Prince going to get the ball, driving to the basket. The only thing Quarles could do there is foul. Good call
again,
by the refs.
Taking advantage of the overplay on defense that time. Prince with 8 points tonight, had 12 last night. 4:36 to go. The Minutemen up by 7, and Washington Township got a little momentum when Paulsboro went in that zone. Prince hits one of two. .430 and counting left here in the fourth quarter. Paulsboro trailing by 8, 50-42. Harris driving to the basket. Harris is short. Rebound Prince. And here comes Favitella, who's had a long rest. Well, they're certainly paying attention to Wood now when he gets it. When he first came in, they were playing off him, no more. 3:58 left. Township not going in a stall per se, but really taking its time here, spreading things out and looking to get that backdoor pass.
They're looking for the backdoor cut right now, and Paulsboro doing a pretty nice job.
Wood does a nice job to save the ball. Township right now up by 8 and in no hurry to shoot. Terry, down low, turnaround jumper, Prince. He now has 11.
With a combination of Wood out front, Prince down low, has extended this lead to 10 points now for Washington Township.
Gardner driving the lane inside to Stefan Tucker, and that is the 6'2 senior's first basket of the evening.
Yeah, I think if Gardner can try to do that a little bit more, is drive in and either kick it out or try to find somebody coming off the baseline.
Wood thought about it, and then he takes it for 3.
Strong rebound that time for Tucker. Try to get it.
Oh, Quarles thought about it. Wood got his hand on the ball that time for the steal.
Freshman mistake, not paying attention. And try to get it in the point guard's hands and allow him to create. Tucker a little frustrated with Quarles right now, and I mean, the freshman's gonna learn. These are the types of things that he'll learn. He understands that he made the mistake. It's important to grow, though. I mean, it's Mark, as a freshman, you're going to make some mistakes like that, and you just got to be able to learn that you made the mistake and know how to fix it. Don't make the same mistake twice.
Yeah, we talked about the fact that Wood has come in and gotten 7 points this quarter. He also has 3 steals, so he's made his presence felt at both ends of the court. There you see the scoring by quarters. Township with a 5-point edge here in the fourth quarter. And by the way, it doesn't get much easier for Township having to play Pennsauken next week. And if you recall, Sean, Pennsauken beat South Jersey's #1 team, Cherokee. So not many easy games in the Olympic Conference American Division for the Minutemen. And not an easy game tonight here against Paulsboro by any means.
Yeah, and remember, this is a Group 1 school going up against a Group 4 school. And so much of that is made in different sports. But you can see when you get 5 guys on 5 guys, you can pretty much throw that out. Because Paulsboro, except for this little run from Wood coming off the bench and Prince maybe hitting a couple of jumpers, these two teams have played each other pretty evenly.
I don't think there's any question that Paulsboro has a capability as the season goes on to be a real contender. In Group 1, there's a steal now. Tucker on the dunk. So Tucker has 4 points all in the fourth quarter. Paulsboro down by 6.
Wood breaking the pressure, and he's just done a fantastic job.
Tucker again on the steal, another turnover for the Minutemen. Tucker to Quarles. Quarles is fouled, he'll go to the line. As Terry had no choice but to foul him that time. 3rd foul on Brian Terry. Quarles with double figures now at 10 points. Has the Red Raiders within 5, 2:12 left here in the fourth quarter. Mark Narducci, Sean Leary, glad to be bringing you this outstanding championship game of the James Atkinson Memorial Tournament. Wood gets a breather now for Washington Township. Quarles with 11 points.
With this defense, this is why Paulsboro can stay into a game and make a run late. Because they play this pressure defense, they can create turnovers, and they're comfortable doing it. And this is their game right here. To be able to pressure the basketball, that's why they're able to stay into it late.
Well, Bob Byatt needed another ball handler. No surprise that he brings in the sophomore, Rick Hudson. Hudson has played a real solid floor game. Over and back. Turnover, Washington Township. 1:55 to go. Miniman clinging to a 4-point lead.
And this isn't the case of Washington Township just slowing things down and maybe getting out of the offense. Paulsboro's just the pressure is getting to Washington Township. And Mark, I mentioned this earlier. Washington Township, let's see if they can hold this type of game for an extended period of time. Yeah, they can handle it for the first couple of quarters, but are they able, especially early in the season, to be able to handle the pressure of Paulsboro? I know they're well conditioned, but it's a different type of game.
Sean, Washington Township has committed 18 turnovers, Paulsboro 11. We talk about Township playing in a great division and everything. I'm not sure that they, on a night-to-night basis, see this type of quickness that Paulsboro is showing them. Gardner now trying to get the offense going. McGar. Gardner looking for three. Air ball. Quarles going for it. And it'll be Township on the inbound with 1:42 left. Oh, what a game. Hudson has done an outstanding job against some tough pressure. Now Paulsboro, and just as I said that, Paulsboro calls his turnover number 19.
That's a mistake there, not using his body to shield off the defender, just going with a lazy pass, and Paulsboro gets a turnover.
Quarles with the jump step drive, just short. Tucker trying to keep it alive, but it's Township ball.
Tucker hiring at his freshman teammate. Polly saying you could have passed it there, and you got to look up.
How about Quarles taking Hudson off the dribble defensively? Township not really anxious to shoot, Sean. 109 and counting left. Miniman hold a 4-point lead, 52-48. And if you're Paulsboro, the choice is, when do you maybe have to foul? No foul needed there on the steal. And Tucker is tripped. Tucker is tripped, and Stefan Tucker, just as Wood has really come alive here in this fourth quarter.
That was set up by James Vaughn, the senior, coming from the backside, knocking the ball loose.
Fourth personal foul on Washington Township. Paulsboro has 5.
5-second call on Paulsboro. Huge play.
12th turnover by the Red Raiders. 54.6 seconds. Township by 4. Wow. Rob Riles just handed me a stat. Washington Township 30 rebounds. Paulsboro 13. Whoa. Prince inside. It's blocked by Tucker. Paulsboro extending the defense, trapping, and we talked about fouling that time, and it was McGar on the foul. And if you're Paulsboro, you have to watch being called for an intentional foul. Only the 6th personal foul, so Washington Township will inbound. 31.4 seconds left. It seems like it's been 52-48 for quite some time here. Township trying to hold on for its life and fouled, and now Hudson will go to the line for the 1-on-1.
You're right, Mark. What a good early game this has been. Both teams playing their style of basketball. Washington Township probably playing a little bit more up-tempo than they're used to, but still a fun game. And Paulsboro, I mean, just using the threes. Washington Township going to the inside. Hudson with a chance to give his team a 5-point lead.
Fourth foul on James Vaughn. He leaves the game right now. Hudson with the 1-and-1, misses it. And Paulsboro possession with 26.5 left. Now, if you're Paulsboro, obviously, not only do you want to score, but you want to call a timeout after that. Quarles. Oh, from NBA range, he banks it in. The Red Raiders within one.
How about the freshman saying, give me the ball with 20 seconds left. I'm firing up a three.
Paulsboro gets within one, 52-51. The freshman now with 14 points, 3 3-pointers. Now, Sean, if you're playing horse, do you call this one?
Only if you're playing horse.
How about the Red Raiders, 10 for 23 from beyond the arc?
That's remarkable. I mean, they're shooting lights out from the outside. But how about the freshman just coming up and seeing if he's going to be able to take a huge shot at the end of a game? That's just guts. I mean, you take a look at a guy who wants the basketball. You got to love that if you're Byron Dixon, a guy who wants the ball, who's a freshman who's going to be in your system for the next 3 seasons.
You know what I think Paulsboro will try to do? They'll try to steal on the inbound. If they can't, then they'll foul. Again, in the penalty, so Township would be in would shoot the 1-and-1. 17 fouls on Paulsboro, just 4 for Washington Township. Prince on the inbound. And he is fouled immediately that time. Hudson is by Quarles. Oh, what a game.
Hudson, a sophomore, coming to the line with 2 huge free throws on the line. He had already missed the front end of the 1-and-1 in his last possession.
There'll be another 1-and-1 for Hudson. 16.7 seconds to go. And it's getting noisy here at Gloucester County College as Hudson makes a key free throw and the Minutemen up by 2. Hudson misses the second. Harris with the rebound. Paulsboro can tie it with a 2, win it with a 3. And Tucker loses possession with 9 seconds to go.
Tucker doing too much. Get the ball in the guard's hands and let them travel down the court to find the open man. Probably doing a little too much in that possession.
Prince tries to get it in, almost stolen by Gardner that time. 0.7 of a second went off the clock. 8.3 seconds. Township by 2. And there's Hudson. And Hudson was fouled, and Tucker on the foul, and it's a good thing he did.
Oh, yeah.
Because Galliard would have had an uncontested layup.
What a play by number 23 to get that foul, because you're right, Galliard probably would have brought it home to give him a 4-point lead. At least you put Hudson at the line. He's 1 of his last 3 from the line in a pressure situation.
Sean, there are 5.6 seconds to go. And unless Hudson hits both of them, Paulsboro are going to be very much alive in this game.
Yeah, and this is a spot where, you know, you're just hoping for Hudson either to miss the first or the second to give yourselves a shot. But I'd get the ball in one of the guards' hands, allow them to get up court, and then if you're Tucker, if they're your Harris, Quarles, step outside that 3-point arc, depending on what happens here with Hudson's first and or second shot.
This is the 3rd and final 1-and-1 for Washington Township, and Hudson has had them all. He missed the front end of the first, made the front end of the second, and then missed the second free throw. This is the 3rd 1-and-1 for Hudson. You think this kind of experience won't help this sophomore who's given the Minutemen a tremendous effort off the bench today?
Yeah, tremendous effort by both teams' benches who've come in and played significant roles in this game.
Hudson makes it to give the Minutemen up by 3. And Sean, it's interesting, with only 4 team fouls, Township could actually keep fouling, but they have to watch they don't do it intentionally. Hudson with 6 points on the evening. 5.6 seconds to go. And he misses. And there's one of those fouls, and that's a smart play that time by Prince. That's only the 5th
Byatt's
foul.
calling for the foul right now. His coach knows what he's doing. He's making sure that his team knows that go for the foul. Don't allow him to bring it up court.
The key is you don't want to foul right away. You want to let a second or 2 off. And that's what happened that time as Hudson with the foul on McGar. Now there are 2.3 seconds to go.
Now he's calling off. He's telling them no fouls. Just play defense straight up.
Actually, you know what? They're up by 3. The next foul would put them in a one-on-one
situation.
For 3 points, it is no good at the buzzer by McGar, and Township is the champion of the James Atkinson Memorial Tournament.
What an outstanding game from both teams. I mean, that was anyone's game. Both teams with different types of contrasts and styles, and just a nice job by both squads. I mean, Paulsboro putting that pressure defense, Mark, I mean, and then you have Washington Township playing its game. That's one of them games where this would be, if it was ESPN, it's Channel 5, but it'd be an instant classic.
Well, I'll tell you, of all the people in this game, Sean, too, when you look at the contribution, you're going to look at the box score and you'll see Rob Wood scored 7 points, and you'll realize all in the 4th quarter. He had the 3 steals in the 4th quarter. What a difference maker he was for Township.
Right, and we've seen a kid come of age with Quarles on the Paulsboro sidelines. I mean, this freshman is a fantastic talent. And, you know, what he does defensively, blocking shots, redirecting shots, and also just those little things like you had said earlier, passing a little bit quicker, maybe you're getting a little bit big of a, he is going to be a factor in the Colonial Conference, especially with the big guy Zuback off it too. That helps him out a little bit to mature.
He's going to be a factor in South Jersey. I mean, there's no question about it. Quarles ended up with 14 points and was a great defensive presence. And maybe Byron wants to keep bringing him off the bench because he's a freshman, but he's going to play a lot of minutes. And this is a very exciting Paulsboro team that I think, Sean, is going to cause a lot of trouble this year in Group 1, especially with the quickness that the Red Raiders have.
Well, that's right. And with Byron Dixon, I think he's doing a great job with getting some of them young guys some playing time. Kevin Johnson, Love came in from that guard spot. Keep the guys fresh. You know, they're playing an up-tempo style with a lot of teams in the Colonial Conference. You know, they're used to seeing it from Paulsboro. If you can mix in that depth, boy, that's tough to deny. I mean, that is tough to defend against. If you're coming into a game, you need to have the bench. Otherwise, you're going to tire out.
You know, and even though Paulsboro lost, I think this is a credit to the Red Raiders because they played against a Washington Township team that plays as tough a schedule as anybody in South Jersey, and Paulsboro obviously took them to the limit. I think it says a lot for this Paulsboro
Right,
program.
what do you say? You go back to the kids, say, listen, you just played against one of the biggest schools and you're able to hang with them to 3. This is a team who plays against Shawnee, Pennsauken next week, Cherokee, some of the best teams, and you played them within 3 points. This is a big step, I think, for Paulsboro coming into the season. First loss, but I think this is a good loss. This is a team that they played a very contrasting style and forced them sometimes to play that up-tempo. Paulsboro's coming of age. They still got some of those growing pains they're going to have to go through, though.
Conversely, if you're Washington Township, you commit 20 turnovers and you're still able to win. So that says something as well. It has been a tremendous game right here from Gloucester County College. There you see the final score. Washington Township 51, Paulsboro 54, Paulsboro 51. For Sean Leary, Mark Narducci saying, thanks for watching and have a good evening, everybody.